You ever get this like weird feeling when you're going through something really tough that maybe, just maybe, it's pushing you towards something better?
Like it's all part of some bigger plan.
Yeah, that even though it hurts, there's a reason for it. And that's exactly what we're diving into today.
The idea that hardship is actually necessary for growth.
You got it. And get this, our source is just one single rule, right out of a book called 40 Rules of Love.
Just one rule. You think they can really dig deep into that?
You know it. This is way here. The deep dive, we find those hidden gems, even in the most unexpected places. Right, so this rule, Rule 10, it says, and I quote, "The midwife knows that when there is no pain, the way for the baby cannot be opened and the mother cannot give birth. Likewise, for a new self to be born, hardship is necessary." Whoa, intense comparison, right?
A little bit,
Wow.
yeah. But it's a metaphor that keeps popping up across history. This idea that we need to go through fire to come out stronger. It's not some new age thing. It's an ancient philosophy, myths, even modern psychology. It's everywhere.
Now that you mention it, it does sound kind of like those hero stories, all those trials and tribulations they go through. But what does this new self even mean? Are we talking like a whole new personality?
That's where it gets interesting, right? It's not about a total transformation. Think of it more like unlocking a new level of yourself. That new self is still you, but with more, I don't know, resilience, wisdom,
Hmm,
empathy, whatever qualities that hardship kind of like forced you to develop. It's like the you that's been forged in fire.
I can dig it. But going back to the childbirth thing, and not that I've ever given birth,
Hmm.
but that pain's got to be off the charts, right? Are we really saying we need that level of intensity to grow?
Good question, because there is a difference between hardship and just pointless suffering. The rule isn't about searching for pain or even like glorifying it. It's more about understanding that challenges, sometimes painful ones, are just part of life. They can't be avoided. And here's the kicker. They can be huge opportunities to transform.
So it's not really about the pain itself, but what we do with it, like what we learn from those tough experiences.
100%. And I know it sounds a little dramatic, but Nietzsche said, that which does not kill us makes us stronger. And as dramatic as that sounds, there's actually research on resilience to back it up. People who face and overcome really difficult stuff often develop, well, a lot of things. A deeper sense of self-reliance, stronger coping mechanisms, and some even say a greater appreciation for life. It's like, what doesn't break you?
Makes you stronger.
Oh.
See, I paid attention back in philosophy class. But that reminds me of when I was learning guitar. Talk about hardship. My fingers were on fire. I wanted to quit a million times. But I pushed through those frustrating practices. And let me tell you, when I finally played that first song all the way through, pure joy.
See? And that's a perfect example. Think about what came out of all that struggle. And I'm not even talking about the fact that you can play guitar now, but the perseverance, the discipline, all of that.
Yeah. Yeah. And okay, maybe a few calluses. But anyway, so flipping it around, what happens when we don't go through those hard times? Like, what if we could dodge all the challenges? What then?
It's tempting to think a life without problems is the dream, right? But here's the thing. When we try to avoid the hard stuff, we might actually be setting ourselves up for a bigger fall later. Think of it like a tree that's always been protected from the wind. It might grow tall, but it's weak. And the first storm that comes along, it's going to break.
Oh, that's a good one. That really paints a picture. It makes you wonder, though, how do we try to shield ourselves from hardship without even realizing it?
That's the thing about it. Sometimes we don't even know we're doing it. It could be anything from staying in our comfort zones to avoiding tough conversations to surrounding ourselves with people who just agree with everything we say. And look, those things might feel good in the moment, right? But ultimately, they keep us from developing that resilience and strength we need for when those challenges inevitably come.
This has been a total eye-opener for me, I got to say. But now I want to hear from you. Yeah, you, the one listening. What's one thing in your life right now that's hard? Big or small, it doesn't matter. Think about it through the lens of this whole Rule 10 thing. Could this be a chance for your own new self to kind of break free?
It's not about wishing the tough times away, right? It's about seeing what they can offer us. Maybe it's a chance to tap into a strength you didn't even know you had. Or maybe, just maybe, that hardship is guiding you towards a more real, more powerful version of yourself.
And on that note, my friends, that's something worth thinking about. So the next time things get rough, remember what we talked about. Yeah, remember Rule 10.
Yeah.
It might just change your whole perspective.